Ooh, that's not good.
Oh, damn it. Oh well.
I don't know why I do this to myself. I saw this cool art challenge that people are doing where they do drawings in different increments of time, so I figured I'd do the same thing but with Warhammer minis. Today we're going to be doing 1 day, or 24 hours, 1 hour, and 1 minute and see how well we can paint a mini in those times. I have no idea how this is going to go. Let's start with the 1 day painting challenge. Alright, 24 hours on the clock. For this one, I'm painting Captain Lysander from the Imperial Fists. This guy is a total badass. I read up on his lore, and pretty much he really hates Iron Warriors. Like, really hates them. In true 40k fashion, I added a massive banner on his back. Of course, this is super impractical, but it looks sick and it gives me heaps of space to paint some cool stuff. I started out with a white primer and blocked in some yellow. I need to talk about this yellow paint. Guys, this shit is so good. It's Yen and Dark Sun. It's an old discontinued paint from Games Workshop, and it makes painting yellow super easy. I slapped down a bunch of other base coats like red, white, green, skin tone, metals, and tan, and this is what we're up to with our base coats done. I applied a wash thinly over the whole model. Washing feels like the biggest hack. It adds so much depth so quickly. You don't actually need to be good at painting, you just need to do some washes. After that dried, I go back in with my base coat colors and I smooth them out and I lighten them back up so that the wash is only in the recesses. And it's on to highlighting. Highlighting is what I spent the next 10 hours of my time on this model doing. Generally, all my highlights were the original color mixed with a bit more white or a brighter color. Using white ended up being a bit of a mistake because on some of the colors, as the highlights go higher, the colors become more desaturated. Lysander has an awesome shield. It may be put to shame by the hectic new Primaris guys with shields, but deep in my heart I am an OG Space Marine boys and I prefer my man Lysander. What do you prefer? OG Space Marines or these new Primaris guys? I watched a funky tutorial on glazing earlier, so I decided to try to make the fist that's holding the power hammer a red metallic by doing multiple super thin layers of evenly spread red. It kinda worked. Here's something that I'm confused about though. The Imperial Fists, most iconic unit, and their character both use a thunder hammer and storm shield. Is it just me, or do you guys feel like the Imperial Fists should have had like, I don't know, Power Fist guys as their most iconic unit? I don't know. I don't get it. Surely. I tried something a bit different with the head, and I went for purple wash. Because I had a whole day to work on this model, I did have some time to experiment, and this time it worked out, and I liked the look. I'm sure you guys know about highlighting white. That shit sucks. I don't have my head wrapped around it yet. I should have used a slightly off-white and then done my final layer with pure white, but then it didn't really read as white to me, so I was a bit confused there, but look, these scrolls still looked pretty good. Now, I really didn't want to have to freehand anything, but I knew, in my heart of hearts, that I was going to have to write words on these scrolls. I choose a few words that represented Lysander, and in true 40k fashion, they were death, war, and valor. As far as freehanding goes, this actually went way better than I was expecting. It's something that I haven't dabbled into too much, so I was happy with the result. And we are getting closer to the final details. There's a big open shoulder pad and a big flat area on the banner that needs an Imperial Fist logo. Rather than freehanding this, I'm just going to use a transfer sheet. Transfer sheets are super easy to use. I just soak it in water, and while it's soaking, I pre-wet the area that it's going to be applied to with a flat medium. And then just transfer the logo onto that area. After that's dry, I'll go over it with a gloss varnish and then again with a matte varnish, and that smooths it out perfect. Now at this stage I am done painting the model, but that does not mean that I am done with the model completely yet, because I need a big display base. The base needs to represent the character, so I decided to go for the inside of an Iron Warrior's fortress. Normally the model's on a 40mm base, but I decided to go slightly bigger because, well, I mean, big is better, right? I cut a disc from plastic card and cut some strips from it. I wanted the base to have height, so he was going to be standing at the top of a set of stairs. I glued all these to a mesh, and what I should have done is glued the disc first and then cut the pieces out, but I like to make things a pain in the ass, so I did it this way instead. Lesson learned for next time. I put together the staircase and I smoothed the edges of the base. This thing was in dire need of some details, so I cut up some wire to become bullet shells, and I broke apart an old Chaos Space Marine lying dead before Lysander. The final touch was a Chaos banner. The whole base was going to be a variety of metals, the ground being rusty old steel, the bullet shells being copper, and the Iron Warrior being nice and shiny silver. Iron Warriors are famous for their hazard stripes, so on the yellow spots I added some black lines. This is where I committed to make this whole banner stripy. It took forever, but overall I was happy with the result. The final touch was a Chaos Star transfer, and that is my 24-hour model done. Is he the most amazing model ever painted? Nope. Am I happy with him? Yeah, absolutely. I think this guy's absolutely sick. Now, the next round is 1 hour. I'm going to be painting this Gravis Armor Captain. I did a couple tiny things with the model. I just changed the head and I cut off the weird star thing above it because I thought it looked silly. I decided I'm going to be going for the Brazen Claws chapter.
Ready, set, go.
The model started out with a grey prime, and then I begun with base coats. I started with the red and the blue. I really liked the chapter and I wanted to do a Space Marine like this for ages. Pretty much they're in a checker pattern. With the main colours blocked in, I went around the model getting all of the accent colours like black, silver, and I wanted the power sword to stand out, so I went with bright green. It contrasts a lot with the rest of the model, which I really like, and if you've seen my painting before, you know I love my bright colours. I added some gold onto the silver to break it up a bit, then the whole model got a wash with Nuln Oil. To dry my paints between layers, I used my brother's girlfriend's hairdryer. She probably won't mind. Nah, she just won't find out. And with that dry, it was highlighting time. I did 4 layers of highlighting on the red. I began with my base color and then mixed in a bit more of a brighter red with each layer. And finally, I finished it off with the pure bright red color just on all the edges. Because I only had an hour, I was working as quickly as possible, resulting in the highlights not being as clean as they possibly could have been. I did the same thing with the blue, and after doing quick highlights on everything else, just doing 1 layer on all of the other colors, my final touch is another transfer. I only gave myself a few minutes and I'm glad that I didn't give myself any shorter. With that applied, the model is done. For just 1 hour, I'm in love with this model. I really like the color scheme and I'm planning on using the checker pattern paint job on an army at some point in the future. Although it probably won't be a Space Marine army because I already have 4 different Space Marine armies. I don't know why I do this to myself.
Alright, here it is. 1 minute mini painting challenge. We have 5 seconds to go. I'm going to do an Iron Hand because they were the easiest chapter I could think of. And go! Alright, so I'm starting with a big dry brush. This is easily the biggest mini painting brush I have ever used. 5 seconds for that. Perfect. Alright, bright silver. I'm going on the gun. Alright, we're only 10 seconds in. I'm pretty happy. Let's get the Aquila on his chest. Alright, this is going way better than I was expecting, actually. Edges of the shoulder pads. Alright, that's only half our time. 30 seconds. Alright, gotta go faster. Oh, this is getting pretty ugly. Definitely some mistakes there. Let's get the eyes. Alright. Oh, you know, that's sort of... Oh, that's not good. It's good enough. We've got 15 seconds. Let's dry brush this base. Alright, good enough for me. Oh, okay. Well, we just fucked it all up.
Oh, damn it. Oh well.
He looks pretty good. And that's time.
And there we go. For 1 minute of painting, I'm actually really happy with this model. Now, obviously there are so many problems with it, but hey, you know, that's alright. And here's the 3 models all lined up together, all completed. Now it's really interesting to see how the quality changes as I spend less time on them. A really interesting thing is that the model that I spent a whole entire day on is definitely not 24 times better than the model that I just spent 1 hour on. Now, this was a really fun challenge and I want to extend it out to every other mini painting YouTuber. How much time do you think that you spend painting a regular soldier in your army? And that's all I have for you today, so until next time guys, Keep painting.